Okay, we're going to talk about metadata, which sounds scarier than it is, but it it is pretty nerdy. And so those of us who get really into organizing things in our own specific ways, you're going to love this. But if you decide to skip it, you can also do just fine without it. So it's for those who want it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Again, we're in the inspector window. We did notes, we did bookmarks, and now we are in metadata. So if this is closed, you're just going to open it and you're going to set up custom metadata. And I will explain what all this means, but let's just start. So first you have to click a little plus sign here. And let's say we want to include a section in our folder for thoughts on this scene, which, well, you have to personalize it. That's where metadata gets crazy. But so we're going to leave this one as a text box. So when I click OK, I now have this little section here, second thoughts on this scene. I don't know if it fits, right? Okay, so that's my thought, and that will be on every scene. Yes, love this scene. Let's go with meh, not sure about this scene. So now you have this way of kind of organizing your thoughts in that way. And the other way it can be very useful is if you go to your outline view, which, forgive me here, outline view. There we go. You can add anything that you have as metadata will show up in your options for your outline. So thoughts on this scene. So now if I click this, I now have thoughts on this scene, which will show up in my outline. So it allows you to cross-reference thoughts on this scene. Now let's jump back to this. We're gonna, if you want to customize your metadata, you get this little 3-dot thing. Let's look at a different option. Let's try a checkbox. So maybe something more like ready for editor, question mark. You know what? Yeah, let's do ready for editor. We'll do a checkbox. So if it's checked, it's ready for editor. So I don't want it to be checked by default. I'll leave that blank. And as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, yeah, this one's ready. This chapter's ready. And again, if I want to go to my outline view for the story, I can ready for editor. So now it has automatically changed this because I just changed the name of the one that was there. So let's go ahead and leave that, and I'll show you as an example. But you can uncheck that or check that if you wanted to see it in your outline. Move it around. So let's go back here. We'll do another bit of metadata. Let's try a list one. So I'll add a new one so you can see how they stack up. So who loves this scene? And we're going to do a list, and we're going to click on this plus sign. I'm going to say my mom loves it, and maybe dad loves it. Me, you see the options of people who have read it and loved it, right? For the record, I don't know that your mom and dad are your best, most critical editors, but we'll roll with this for the example. So who loves the scene? It's a list option. These are the options I want for my list. So now when I'm in the scene, who loves this scene? Mom loves this scene. I love this scene. I guess you would want it to be quantified. So who loves this scene most? Who loves this scene most? I love this scene most. And this scene mom loves, and this scene dad loves. These are really silly examples, but hopefully you'll get the idea here. So then if I'm in my editor, I can go here and who loves this scene most? I want to see that for every scene, and I can move that over so that I can see who loves it. And then you can also change it in this view. So you can uncheck or check these things and even edit the whole list. So, okay, so let's come back to this. There's one more, I think there's one more version of metadata we can do, and that is, oh yeah, okay, so the date. You could say like, when I finished this scene, and we'll make this a date. And you can change how you want it to format. There are options on all these. You can play around with it if it's something you're into. So ready for editor, when I finish this scene. So now if I click on this, okay, I finished this one last week, let's say. And scene 2, I finished, click here, and I finished that one early in the month. Okay, and then if I want to go to my editor, now I can, when I finished this scene, so now that's another option for me to look at. Again, this is just a way for you to customize the way that Scrivener presents data for you. Some people find this not at all useful. Some people totally geek out and create whole systems for their stories. And if you are writing a complicated story, this could be very useful. I will leave it to you to decide.